reps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome in to Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant, coming to you on a Thursday as we get you ready for high school football on Friday night, but also tonight. We didn't put that in the rundown, Mo. I guess we need to do that.
I'm going to fix that here right now.
Oh, man. Also keeping an eye out on this Summertown-Loretto volleyball match, Class A semifinals. Loretto currently leading 2-1 in games, but Summertown leading game 4 22-8. I feel like that one's all but over.
25-8 Summertown final. We go to
game 5, the decisive, pivotal.
It's pretty pivotal.
It can't be pivotal because it can't go the other way. This is the end, guys. Oh, man. The crucial game 5, the winner.
Decisive, as you said.
Decisive.
Yes.
Yeah. The winner advances to the Class A state finals.
Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
The loser goes to the elimination bracket finals, where they will take on the winner of Eagleville and South Green, both of whom Loretto has already beaten. So, yeah, they beat Eagleville in round 1 and then South Green yesterday. So, I guess there you go.
No need for a whole lot of scouting, I don't guess, huh?
I guess not. Don't have to worry about it. Just get some rest in between that, because those two teams, Eagleville and South Green, will play at 5, and then the loser of Loretto Summertown will play the winner of that game at 7:30 tonight, and then be back in Murfreesboro at 10 o'clock tomorrow for the finals. That's why I'm winning this winners bracket final is really important, just to get that rest in. So, yeah, keeping an eye on that. We've got a lot of high school football to get to. We've got 2 great guests today. We're going to talk to Ben Martin at Spring Hill and Kit Hartsfield from Mount Pleasant, because the fast stop game of the week is Spring Hill and Mount Pleasant. Pretty big one here in Murray County. Got some top stories. Obviously, the Braves get a win last night. We'll talk about them here in just a second. We'll hand out some hardware, and then, of course, we will count you down all of the local games in and around Southern Middle Tennessee, some of which are tonight. So, before we do any of that and get to our top stories, we need to give you today's rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Thursday Rundown is brought to you by Barry B. Coble with Crest Point Wealth Management. Barry B. Coble with Crest Point Wealth Management offers personalized wealth management strategies for clients based on where you are in your financial journey. Go see Barry at Crest Point Wealth Management at 700 North Main Street in Columbia. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Crest Point Wealth Management and Cambridge are not affiliated.
In volleyball action on Wednesday in Class AA state tournament play, Sullivan East defeated Lawrence County 3-2, eliminating Lawrence County from the tournament. In the Class A winners bracket semifinal play, it was Loretto 3, South Green nothing. It was Summertown 3, North Green nothing.
And today's schedule, bowling tonight at Tullahoma, probably as we speak. Lawrence County is at Tullahoma. Franklin County is at Summit. In girls soccer action in Region 5A finals, Huntland and Culleoka are playing in Winchester at Franklin County.
At 6.
At 6 o'clock tonight.
Again, as we mentioned earlier, volleyball action later today. The loser of this Loretto Summertown winners bracket final, which is now tied 2-2 going into game 5. Whoever loses this will play the winner of Eagleville and South Green in the losers bracket finals at 7:30 tonight at Siegel. Also, in football action tonight, Lewis County plays at Summertown in a game that until about 2 hours ago we thought was tomorrow. So
that's good to
hopefully it's not a surprise. If you were interested, yeah,
it is what it is.
That's all I got. Yeah.
Mo,
Chris.
how shocked were you when JP was playing psychic? Wild, huh?
He read it right, man. I guess maybe it was like he said at lunch. Maybe you and I were just too emotionally invested to really think clearly on this thing. I mean,
Quite a bit. Yeah.
I just think that with the Braves in a bullpen game last night and then losing their bullpen starter, hours before the game, this didn't feel like a game that they were going to win. Certainly didn't feel like it was a game they were going to win 9-2.
Yeah, the 9 doesn't necessarily surprise me, I don't guess. I mean, obviously, Urias
is tired, and so is everybody else in that Dodger pitching staff.
We thought coming into this series that we've not hit Urias very well at all, and yet now, because and to be honest with you, that wild card game has played a major factor in this series. I don't think there's any question that the Dodgers having to have played that winner-take-all game against St. Louis.
Yeah, and you know what? There will be a move at some point that once the 5 postseason teams are decided, there will be a move to seed based on records because of this.
Well, if there is, it's ridiculous.
Well, I didn't say it wasn't ridiculous. I said there will be talk about seeding 1 through 5 because they wanted Dodgers-Giants in the finals.
And that's a shame because, the whole point of baseball is you've got 162 games to determine who goes. I mean, it's
winning your division should stand for something.
Absolutely. And so if you reseed, it takes that away because then the Braves get penalized. I mean, it happens maybe not every year,
but
rarely
it happens.
But you're going to have 2 really good teams from the same division.
You know what? Maybe they both won 105 games because they didn't play anybody worth a crap otherwise.
Could be.
Because they got to play the AL West all year.
The Diamondbacks all year.
And they got to play the NL West all year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're over here playing the Yankees and the Red Sox
and the
Rays.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
Perhaps there's a reason they won 100 games. Because
Arizona lost 100.
Because 65 of the teams that they played, or 65 games that they played, were teams that stunk.
Yeah. I mean, if you get to play the Diamondbacks and the Rockies all year, you're going to win some games.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah. So, but all that said, don't be shocked when the talk kicks up.
It's going to be a talk. I don't think it'll ever happen.
I hope you're right.
All I know is Dave Roberts overmanaged from game 1 in this playoffs. He completely overmanaged his pitching staff in that wild card game. He overmanaged. I don't know if he overmanaged in the division series, but he certainly overmanaged in games 1 and 2 of the championship series. And then game 3, he still should have got beat.
He should have gotten beat. If Bellinger doesn't bail them out, they do get beat.
And get swept.
Right.
Which is insane. But hey.
And so now you're looking at the possibility of the Braves clinching on the road.
You have, which we said this going into game 3. You're up 2-0 and you got Charlie Morton on the bump. Didn't look great coming out of the first inning, but was great after 5.
Yeah. Well,
but
especially
today,
considering their guy went out before Charlie Morton did.
Today, it's 3-1, a chance to clinch, and your ace is on the rubber.
And it's Max Fried versus everybody.
Anybody they can find. That lady that I thought was going to jump up and fight Tyler Matzik last night. Did you see her? That first pitch. So Matzik's first pitch to Pollock, hit the dirt. It was low and inside and hit the dirt. And this lady on the front row just jumps up like she was fixing to bow up on Magic or something.
Maybe it was Pollock's mom.
It was
or
wild.
something.
I was like, what in the world? Why is she so angry? Anyway, I mean,
You think she's going to start?
she might have to throw an inning or two. They don't have anybody left.
Maybe they could pull Mary Hart from the stands, who's sitting just next to her. Did you guys
She
see
left.
Mary?
I did
She
not
left
see her,
early.
but she left early. I saw that on
Yeah.
social media. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she wasn't there in the last
She and
inning
everybody
and a half.
else that were,
Guess she had to beat the traffic, huh?
except the traffic was
already there.
It was already there because they all left early. You'd have been better off sticking it out.
And we were talking off air before the show started. With Justin Turner coming off the roster with that hamstring, and you hate to see that. I hated to see that.
It hurt to watch that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to see. I hate to see a team that my team is playing at less than their best, because I don't want them to have any excuses when my team beats them. So from that standpoint, I hated to see Justin go out. But I'm a little surprised, given the way the Dodgers have burned through pitching, like you said, from the wild card up, that you didn't bring a Price onto the roster there to start this game today.
Who are they pitching?
Joe Kelly. Yeah.
Joe Kelly. Oh, we're gonna use that GIF all night. Can't wait. Anyway, Braves get a big win last night. 4 solid innings out of Drew Smiley. Never saw it coming.
10 out, 3 1/3.
Whatever.
10 outs. But
Never saw it coming.
No. I figured he would be the number 2 guy, coming behind. Well, Enoa was what you thought, because you thought they go righty-lefty. But it was Jesse Chavez getting you through the first inning, and then Smiley getting you through 3 1/3. And he was solid.
Drew Smiley is the reason we won that ball game. Because if we have to get deeper into the pen,
Or quicker.
we have to get. Well, if you get there quicker, you got to go deeper.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
most of those guys can't pitch
More than an
an
inning. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mentor, you got 2 out of, which was, and they went lefty righty a bunch in those 2 innings, and still with the win. So
This offense, though, really responded to the bullpen game.
yep, they did exactly what they had to do.
Yeah, they got you a couple of lightning bolts there early, and a couple more runs there in the third,
Yep.
fourth, and kept adding on.
Just kept adding on. Eddie Rosario, baby. We'll talk. We can't talk more about it. We don't have time. AAC expansion is finalized. We'll talk about that tomorrow on our college football show. Don't forget to tune in at 4 o'clock for that. Let's hand out some hardware real quick. Mo, the End to Win Life Team of the Week presented by Custom Stone Handlers is
Columbia Central.
That's right.
The Lions did what they were supposed to do last week. They beat a bad Lincoln County team and beat them
Handily.
for 48 minutes, 42-7. Columbia Central, Team of the Week.
Good job. And the Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Player of the Week goes to Summertown's Javen Edmiston, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns, or just one?
Just one.
Just the one?
On 17 carries in a 35-7 win over Mount Pleasant.
Big night for the Eagle, and he'll hope to duplicate that tonight as they take on Lewis County tonight. So should be fun. When we come back, Ben Martin be on Coach's Corner talking about the Fast Stop Game of the Week, Spring Hill, Mount Pleasant. So stick around. We've got him and Kit Hartsfield coming up later in the show. So we'll be right back on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Come back. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Talking high school sports, here's Mo and Chris.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Glad to have you here on this Thursday edition as we continue to get you ready for high school football on Friday night. Talking all about high school sports in and around Southern Middle Tennessee. A little double dose of Coach's Corner here. And
Too bad we can't get a double dose of From the Heart.
there's that. Man, that'd be a nice place.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant on this Thursday edition as we get you ready for high school football on Friday night. Counting down all of the games in the Southern Middle Tennessee area, including our fast stop game of the week, which is an county matchup, which will be part of playing for the Sparkman Daily Wade Trophy, presented by Jones and Lang and Southern Middle Tennessee Sports. So this could have some implications on a little hardware, Mo.
Oh, yeah. And we will have that hardware on display at Friday night's game. So be sure and check it out. It's a nice little piece of hardware that somebody's going to get to display in a place of prominence.
We hope. No, they're going to keep it in the in the field house.
They'll have the opportunity to display it in a place of prominence. Hopefully they will. Maybe they won't. Hard to say.
Yeah, no question there. But to get into it, we're going to go to Coach's Corner, brought to you by our friends at From the Heart Cafe, From the Heart in Chapel Hill. Renee Hart and the gang doing a fine job keeping you full, keeping the belly full. Breakfast in the trailer and lunch inside. Some of the best sandwiches and desserts that you can find that side of the Duck River. So
you do have to cross it.
That's right. Yeah. From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill, proud sponsors of Coach's Corner. And on Coach's Corner this week, we have one of the coaches in that fast stop game of the week, Ben Martin of Spring Hill High School. Coach, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Ben, obviously things have not gone quite the way you would have liked this year, but an opportunity to turn things around tomorrow night, just to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Not obviously not the season we had hoped for, the season we were expecting. But we've got 2 more weeks, and it's 2 weeks of fellow Murray County teams. So, hopefully that's gonna give us a little juice. And we've had a pretty good week of practice so far. But you're right. Hopefully we can get things on track this Friday.
First time these two programs have played since 2014, but you particularly as a Spring Hill native and as a former Raider yourself, I imagine you can kind of speak to your guys about, the significance of this matchup and, kind of help bring a little juice to it.
Absolutely. I sure hope so. I joke all the time. People are like, "Hey, man, you talk to them about, when we played?" And I tell most of the guys, I'm like, "Man, they don't care." that was a long time ago.
Leather helmets, huh?
Right. They, one room schoolhouse and, no face mask and all that kind of stuff. But in all honesty, I did mention, the fact that one of the names mentioned in the trophy there, was a teammate of mine and still a really good friend of mine. And in my personal opinion, I know I'm biased, but maybe the best high school football player I've ever seen, being Papa Wade, of course. But, we talk about that. I mean, we had great games when, years ago when I played, playing against guys like Warren Dudley and Brian Buckner. And it was a big deal when Spring Hill played Mount Pleasant. So it's good that we're getting to do it again.
Coach, this game obviously has no bearing on any playoffs or anything, but there's a sense of pride, obviously, when you play a county school and you want to win these games, if for nothing else, just for those bragging rights and that pride. So is that something that your guys are feeling this week? A little bit of, kind of, hey, we got to win this because we need this win.
Absolutely. I think especially for our seniors, our seniors have shown up and showed up to work this week, and like I said, I think we've had a pretty good week of practice. It's hard. I mean, there's frustration. There's frustration with the players, frustration with the coaches, frustration with the parents. Everybody's frustrated, but what are we going to do about it? And that's kind of been our theme this week. And this is, we've got 2 weeks left, and it just so happens to be, 2 schools in our county. So we are playing for pride.
These two teams played continuously from 1979 up until 1996, with the exception of the 1983 season, looks like, and took a little bit of a hiatus. Played, looked like 6 straight years from 09 to 14. And Spring Hill has a 15-9 advantage in this series. Now, again, like you said, Ben, I'm not sure how much any of that matters, but when you look at Mount Pleasant right now, and you look at your team,
Right.
where do you see this game being decided?
Well, I think obviously, football is a game of momentum. I think we have to start off strong and kind of have to stay there. Kid's got some talented players down there, and I'm sure that they're feeling the same thing we are. This is a pride thing. We're playing for county pride and that sort of thing. So it's going to be a hard fought battle. I think that we have to establish some offense and get some stops on defense. That sounds really generic, but when you boil it down, I think we've got to get some movement up front, offensively, and we got to be gap sound on defense. They've definitely got some weapons. We've got to do our job.
Yeah, just talking about that front that they have, I mean, guys like Gavin Alderson are almost impossible to block for anybody. Mm-hmm. How do you combat that strong defensive front that they have?
Well, and I think we've got to execute our assignments and things like that. And, a wise man once told me, if you can't block a guy, you read him. So, we're going to, I think, we've put together a game plan. I think that's going to bode pretty well for us. And hopefully if we can execute it, we'll come out successful.
It sounds as though most of your concerns are more defensively oriented, which coming from you makes perfectly good sense. But on the offensive side of the ball, what do you feel like has to happen for y'all?
Well, I think we have to at least establish somewhat of a running game, and hopefully it's not going to be a torrential downpour, and maybe we can pass the ball a little bit and get a snap from center. But I think we do have to establish the running game to open up things. I feel like we can be pretty successful if we can establish a bit of a running game early.
And with Mac Ritchie and with Caden Martin, you have to feel like the opportunity to establish the running game is there for you guys. Absolutely.
Both those guys run hard. Mac in particular, had a really good week. Caden's had a good week. I think those guys are talented. We just can't seem to put it all together. It seems like when our line's having a good night, maybe we're not seeing our holes and following our paths and things like that. But, they, like I said, I think everybody's had a good week, and hopefully, we'll get that going with those two guys this week.
Coach, you've played a couple different quarterbacks this year, and obviously Blaze one of those, and Connor Swan. How has that dynamic been with this team, trying to find a guy who's got the hot hand and then stick with it?
Right. Well, and that's you hit the nail on the head. I think the quarterback battle kind of embodies the team this year. It's never a good thing when you're still talking about trying to find your identity in week 9. But I think that was similar. I mean, Connor came out of the gate and had a really good game at Greenwood, and then got hurt in the Page game. which was our second game. We had to cancel week 2 because of COVID. And then, got an injury on his elbow. Blaze had to come in and did what he could. And then, kind of similar elbow problems again the next week at Lewis County. Blaze came in and did really well, actually, 5 for 5 and got a score and a 2-point conversion. And I think it's just been kind of, like you said, finding who's got the hot hand and for that particular night. So hopefully, we'll find out Friday.
No doubt. Again, fast stop game of the week, Spring Hill at Mount Pleasant, 7 o'clock. Hopefully it's not raining.
Man,
Just stop. Stop.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully it is raining.
No, just don't talk about it at all. I mean,
It's going to be a lot of fun though. This is a, like I said, in-county matchup that we are certainly looking forward to. We want to wish you good luck, Coach, and we appreciate you taking some time with us. We will definitely be getting in touch with you after the game. I will be there, so looking forward to seeing you for the first time this year, and good luck again. We appreciate it.
Hey, hopefully we'll put a good product on the field. Thank you guys for all you do for high school sports in this area, and thanks for having me on.
No doubt.
All right, buddy.
Ben Martin on Coach's Corner, brought to you by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. That's From the Heart Cafe, located to the right, as if you're going to Henry Horton Park. You
not to the left,
Not
as
to the
if you're
left.
going toward town.
Yeah, don't go left. You'll go all the way into town, and you'll say, maybe we didn't go the right direction. It's
No,
okay.
you didn't. But that's okay.
It's all good. We found our way, and once we got there, it was worth the wait. Again, fast stop game of the week, Mo. This is a game that is very important for both of these teams. I mean, just for psyche.
I think it's important for what comes at the end of this season for one of these teams, because when you've gone through years like both Spring Hill and Mount Pleasant have gone through, getting a win, getting some momentum going into the off season, going into winter workouts, that kind of thing, just anything that you can hang your hat on and say, we saw some improvement. Let's take this into winter workouts, into conditioning, into spring practice. Let's get something positive out of this season. And a win on the field at this point would probably be the most positive thing for either of these teams.
Yeah, they've 145 yards a game for Spring Hill. That's what they're averaging. And Mac Ritchie, who we really had high expectations for, unfortunately has not been able to produce to the level that he was in the second half of last season.
And not necessarily through any fault of his.
1,000%. I mean, when you watch the Spring Hill team, the fact is that they struggle blocking up front.
And Ben just kind of mentioned that, having a tough time moving people.
And every football coach in America will tell you that football games are won up front.
Or lost.
And that's the bottom line. I mean, if you struggle to block, you're going to struggle to score because you're only going to get 145 yards a game. And sometimes
puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
Sometimes you can coach around that. Sometimes you can't. I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter what you do. So, yeah, Mac Ritchie, 204 yards on the year, just the one touchdown. Caden Martin, 208 yards on the year, also one touchdown. And they've run the ball with about 12 other people. One up to 7 times as few as 1 times. And then, of course, Blaze Martin and Connor Swan at quarterback have combined for 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. All of those interceptions belong to Swan. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. I'm curious to see how both teams come out. mentally and preparing for this one, because I still think that despite the the way their seasons have gone, this one means something.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a spirit, a fight out of both these teams, because I think it does mean something. Not just, playing out the string. This is a good game for both of them, I think, at this point in the season.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about it on the other side of the break. Stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Talking high school sports, here's Mo and Chris.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Glad to have you here on this Thursday edition as we continue to get you ready for high school football on Friday night. Talking all about high school sports in and around Southern Middle Tennessee. A little double dose of Coach's Corner here. And
Too bad we can't get a double dose of From the Heart.
there's that. Man, it'd be a nice place to grab some lunch any day you can get it. I do love some From the Heart. Just some blackberry cobbler, blueberry cobbler. It's all good. It's all good. And we continue talking about our Fast Stop game of the week, Mo. It's always fun. let's do just that and bring in Mount Pleasant head football coach Kit Hartsfield. Coach, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking some time away from field painting. I'm sure that's just a tough thing to get you away from.
Yeah, no doubt. It's part of it, and just trying to get this field ready for senior night. Thanks for having me.
Always fun. Always fun.
Coach, obviously your first year at Mount Pleasant, but not your first year in this area. Being a Lawrenceburg native, you've got some familiarity with that Mount Pleasant program, and you probably got some familiarity with, the significance of this cross-county matchup tomorrow night with you guys and Spring Hill. At the same time, I'm not sure where that is on your list of priorities as you head into this game, because the Tigers come in having lost their last 3.
Yeah, no doubt. It's extremely significant because, for one, it's an in-county rival. An in-county game, I guess, a rival. And that was, these in-county games are, got a lot of hype around them. Between all the schools, and that's always great and fun, and good to be a part of a community that loves football. It's also really important because it's senior night. We got 4 guys that'll be recognized and, put on their last home uniform for the last time. And, we want to send those guys out, on a good note with some good memories here on this field one last time.
When you've had the type season that you've had, Kit, does a game like this kind of re-energize your team, you feel like?
Yeah, I think it could a little bit. With kind of a roller coaster season up and down, and guys in and out, on and off the field, and just lots of adversity, that we've had to face, and come together and grow as a team, is important. And we've had really a good week of practice. We've had really 2 good weeks of practice coming after fall break, and so, our guys aren't done. They love the game, and, they appreciate it, don't want to take it for granted, and, want to play hard for these seniors this week.
Been a tough season, Kit. 2-5 overall. Again, you've lost your last 3, but you've not put your best team on the field in quite some time. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I don't know that we have all year. But that's just, unfortunate, but things you got to battle through, and 3-5 to correct you there.
You're right. My bad. I'm sorry. I was reading something. Yeah.
We didn't
3-5.
play one we wanted, but that's all good. But yeah, we haven't been able to, I guess have the most experienced guys, all together at once, and we still won't, but I feel like we'll be pretty close to it this Friday, as close as we've been. I would say, especially at skill positions, finally. So, hopefully, they're able to gel together this week, and, it forced us to have other people step up, and do things they're not ready to do. And I think, it showed last week, with Williamson and Brown out versus Summertown. Nick had to find somebody else to look at to get the ball to, and Darian Meza, who's finally 100% on his ankle, was able to have a big game. So I think there's positives in it still.
Coach, just from what we can see, obviously we aren't coaches, we're just guys who talk on the radio and write in the paper, but you gotta feel like you have the ability to win the battle up front tomorrow night.
We need to. I don't know. How many games we've rushed for 100 or 150 yards plus, and a lot of that's due to being young up front, young in the backfield. And also our opponents have been pretty good this year. I think we only have 2 opponents with a losing record all year long. So I think we're pretty healthy on the line. We may have one out. our backfield is, close to 100%. So, we got to establish line of scrimmage, and, if you don't win the line of scrimmage, you're probably not going to win the game. And, I think that's kind of the story of our season so far.
And the defensive line, obviously, you guys have some game breakers over there.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got some good individual talents on defensive line, and Gavin Alderson's had a monster year. On the stat sheet. Dontavius Ellison sorry if you can hear that airplane in the background.
Flight school has opened today.
Yeah. Dontavius Ellison, plays a lot of snaps on both sides of the ball. Tyler Berry's been rotating in there, and freshman Connor Scherer and freshman Micah Hodison, both started against Central, 2 freshmen there. So, we still feel like we'll have, a good D-line in the future.
And then behind that, obviously you've got some pretty solid linebackers in Archibald, and you feel like he's a leader on this team, I'm sure.
Yeah, Archibald he's just he's a coach's dream. I mean, as soon as kickoff starts, dude is 100 miles an hour everywhere he goes. Whether he's in the right place or wrong place, he still finds a way to make plays. He's fun to watch. Matthew Holden's had a good year as a junior, first year starting at inside linebacker. We certainly missed Perez all season at linebacker and at running back. So, we'd like to get him back if we could. I don't think it'll be this week. But it's just one of those deals. That's one of those positions. Kind of been a revolving door with Archibald and Holden. Really been the 2 consistent pieces there.
Real quick, I want to ask you, if you guys can find a way to win this game, all right, you have some momentum going into a massive game next week. Forest has already locked up the region championship, but you guys can still play. And for a playoff spot next week, obviously you need some help from Loretto, but a win next week and a Richland loss to Loretto would mean you guys are in the playoffs. So, getting some momentum this week would be huge for your team going into that big region game next week with Forest.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you'd carry a lot of weight with just kind of our morale and how we feel, coming off a win. And then going to Forest, which would be an electric atmosphere. They've already, sewed up and locked up that first spot. So, I don't know how they would really approach that game. I'm sure they would do their best at least. But we're definitely, not out of it. If we're able to take care of business, and the longer it goes, it seems like we have a better chance of getting healthy at this point. And Loretta's been playing really good ball. Richland's been playing good ball too. They got a tough one versus East Hickman this week, and Loretta's off. So I know Porter's missed some time at running back for him. And him back, you never know what can happen. But I know if you got 8 quarters down to play, you have no reason but to give it your all and let the chips fall.
That's right. Coach Kit Hartsfield here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us. We appreciate it. Make sure that field looks fantastic, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Sir, thank you guys for having me.
All right, Kit Hartsfield with Mount Pleasant there. We have got to mention, now that we have a little bit of time before the end of the first hour, this Class A state semifinal volleyball match between
Winners bracket final.
Yes, winners bracket final.
Yeah, and a double elimination. Yeah.
It's just, it's incredible how much Summertown and Loretto fight for points every single time the ball is in the air. Loretto ties the game. Ties the game at 2, right? So it was. It was 2-1. Summertown
ties it. Yeah.
with a 25-8 win in Game 4. Loretto comes out in Game 5 and looking very sharp. Gets up. They're 2 points away from the win.
They were up 13-11.
And Summertown just does what they do.
Yeah. After dropping the first game, 25-19, winning 25-22, losing 25-20, like you said, winning Game 4 25-8, and trailing 13-11 in Game 5, which is to 15. Summertown rallies to win 16-14 and advance to that 10 o'clock championship game tomorrow in Class A at Siegel. They will face the winner of tonight's losers bracket final, which is a 7:30 start at Eagleville, and it will be Loretto against either Eagleville or South Green. Those two will play here at the top of the hour in the losers bracket semifinal. So Summertown gets to get off their feet, and Loretto tries to travel the same path to the state finals that they did last year when they met Summertown.
Yeah, it's really tough to have to play that extra match and then it being so late and then have to get back up there early in the morning. That really makes it tough. And Loretto, boy, kudos to them for getting to that point and putting the pressure on Summertown. They forced Summertown to beat them instead of just kind of, we've lost 13 in a row to them. It's just another match. It's never just another match with these two. So that's what I love about this rivalry, even though it's been sort of one-sided over the last couple of years.
It's been one-sided in terms of the outcomes, but
it's
the competition in each of the matches, it's a rivalry.
Yeah, no question. All right, that's going to do it for hour number 1. I don't know why I was yawning, but I am. It is what it is. When we come back, hour 2, we're going to preview football games around southern Middle Tennessee, and we will give you our picks in the final segment. So plenty of high school football on the other side, so stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, live from the Lee Company Studio, WKOM 1017 FM, WZYXradio.net. Around the world on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports YouTube, Facebook, Main Street Preps, Main Street Murray Facebook as well, and at SM_TN Sports on Twitter. So, a lot of football talk coming your way. Stick around. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, Call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant here on Thursday. We do have some Thursday night football tonight. Over in East Tennessee, Oakland is at South Pittsburgh. That's interesting. But right here in our backyard, Summertown and Lewis County will play. We'll talk about that game a little bit later in the show. Got plenty to talk about in this segment, Mo, but it's really hard for us not to talk about what's coming up tonight and the excitement that I know you and I are both feeling about the Atlanta Braves as I rock in my chair, Leo Mazzoni style. We were talking off air about, this lineup and Eddie Rosario leading off tonight. It's really, it's impressive how we've been able to kind of play with the lineup. And it seems like as much grief as we gave Brian Snicker all year long, every managerial decision he's made so far feels like it has worked out, at least 80% of them.
The biggest one was probably the early hook for Ian Anderson. And that worked out in favor of the Braves. I don't know that I would have hooked him that early, but
Well, we had left the last two pitchers in
too long.
One batter too long.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's the toughest decision any coach in any major sport has, I think, is when to pull a starting pitcher or when to pull a pitcher, period. Yeah. And the thing is, you never know necessarily if it was a good pull, but typically if you leave one in too long, you figure it out the hard way.
And that's the unfortunate part. But it really feels like he has done a very good job managing this team, managing this lineup, and managing the bullpen. So kudos to Brian Snicker. I just, even going with Rosario going back to the leadoff tonight, like JP said, it's, when they're throwing a right-hander, you're going to get lefty, lefty, lefty to start the game, and that's what you want. Mm-hmm. So playing the matchups, I get it. It's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get home and watch it. All right, let's talk some high school football. What do you say? Because you have a pretty big one that you are going to go see tomorrow night. In the fact that it's just these two teams, when they get together, seems to be pretty intense.
Yeah, when Summit and Shelbyville play, there's usually something on the line. It's a little different this time around since they're no longer in the same region. They're not even in the same class because both of them moved up to 6A with this new reclassification. And Summit has adjusted a bit more easily than Shelbyville has. Golden Eagles coming in at 3-5, but they've still got quarterback Cade Cunningham and running back Laquan Young, and those two are enough to create some problems. They are 2-1 in their region, 3-6A over there with Lebanon and Cookeville in that bunch, but 3-5 overall. So they've struggled. Played a pretty tough lineup, pretty tough schedule. They've lost to Tullahoma, Marshall County, Riverdale, Lebanon, and Hendersonville. So they've really tested themselves, and this will be another one for them.
I am curious, and I'm just gonna ask. I'm gonna ask this and try not to get too deep into it, but I wonder how much of an impact Shelbyville's coach's son having such a hard time recovering from COVID. Mm-hmm. How much of an impact has that had on his mental health, his ability to fight through that and still coach this team while also, being worried about your kid?
It's got to be tough. I mean, I think it would be hard to measure, but I also think it would be hard for that not to have some sort of an impact, and understandably so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no knock on Josh Pickett by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, when you've got a situation like that going on within your family, it's going to affect you. And I think he was expected to be a pretty big part of what they were doing on the field as a wide receiver. Yeah. So, it's tough from a number of different angles and perspectives. So that's intriguing.
It was just a thought. Again, this Summit team is on another level. They, the Wade twins, the last time they played Shelbyville, because they didn't play last year. So the last time they played them was in the
Second round?
quarterfinals of,
Yeah.
I think it was the quarterfinals.
It was.
In 19 over at Shelbyville. Destin and Keaton Wade are sophomores, and Destin really took that game over. And
Well, Destin took that game over, and as you recall, he kind of had
On
a
an
chip
ankle.
on his shoulder because he didn't get to play.
Right.
I think during the regular season because of that ankle.
They had
Don't
gotten
think that
beat.
ankle was still 100%,
it wasn't.
but they went over there and took care of business pretty decisively in that quarterfinal game. Finally got back home, played Dyer County in the semifinals, and then went to Cookville.
Yeah, and I expect that this game is going to be very similar to that, where Destin Wade takes over, and
Well, it'll
just
hardly be the first time.
it just continues this impressive run that Destin Wade is on. No doubt.
Let me tell you how impressive this run is. Destin Wade has 94 rushing attempts. He has 20 touchdowns. Destin Wade has 40 pass completions for 10 touchdowns. So 1 out of every 4 completions is going for 6, and 1 out of every 5 carries is going for 6.
That's ridiculous. I mean, so if every 10 plays
2 touchdowns.
he's scoring twice,
Those aren't numbers that defensive coordinators are wanting to hear.
No.
Sorry, y'all.
no, that's tough. That's tough right there, no doubt. Tell me, was that ding for Destin, or was that ding for us to go to the next game?
That was a stat ding.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know what that sounds.
Stat of the day right there. Well done.
Pass that one along, too.
I told you
Your
when we
boy.
say this, you're supposed to give me the ding. Oh man, we don't have music to tell us it's time to go to the next game, so let's just go to the next game.
Let's go to the next game.
Because JP asked us earlier, "Do you like music?" And we said no.
You'll get music when you do the picks.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine too.
Yeah, This is a little more relaxed. You guys are just having a conversation.
We are, but
So-
we do need timers.
Okay.
we do need timers.
You want me to
'cause
ding you when it's ready?
if you don't mind.
Okay.
Just because otherwise we won't get to Fayetteville and Huntland, and that's
Okay.
not good.
All right.
Paige is at Independence, and I've made no bones about
You
how
have
I
not.
feel about this Paige team.
You have not.
Paige is 8-0, and they've beaten the teams that are in front of them. I just don't know how good those teams are. I think Independence is a really good football team who has played a very difficult schedule. They've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat. They've lost to maybe the only toss-up game was probably that Brentwood game.
Are you making your pick now, or are you waiting until we
No,
pick?
I'm just telling you
Okay.
that this game to me feels like an opportunity for either one of these teams to step up and say, here's who I really am.
I'd agree with that. Here's the thing. I think Page could lose this game and still be a good team, because I think Independence is a good team.
Well, that's what it's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying that I don't know what Page is, because when I saw them play, they looked like world beaters in one half, and looked like something else in the next half.
How many high school teams have you seen that don't look like that?
Trust me, it's every week. I mean, it's literally except Summit.
Except Summit.
I mean, that's the truth. Even Oakland against CPA and Lipscomb, they look like two different teams.
Well, they trailed at halftime in both those ball games.
My point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a chance for Page to say, look, we're as good as anybody in this county. So wake up and tell Chris to shut his mouth. Or Independence can come in and they can come in and dominate, and I don't think it takes anything away from Page and who they are.
I tell you what, whatever problems either of these teams is having or will have, I doubt that there'll be a quarterback.
Well, there you go. I mean, that is exactly where both of these teams excel. And I think it's going to come down to defensive backs and pass rush. If you can force either of those quarterbacks to struggle in the pass rush, I think that's where they get that's where you find out. So, yep. Moving on, Warren County 1-5 at Franklin County. This is another game that the Rebels feel like they should win.
Sure. They're suddenly on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah.
What have they won? 3 straight now?
I think so. I mean, after that Columbia Central game, it
4 straight.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking mighty fine right now. 4-game win streak, Grundy County, Lincoln County, Sequatchie County, and Spring Hill.
And that Nolensville game next week could be for a playoff spot, right?
No. I think they're both in the playoffs.
Oh, Nolensville.
It's for third
That's
or fourth
right.
seed.
Yeah. They're both in. You're right.
That's the thing is there. Yeah. I mean, this now becomes a game where you've got this particular game is let's focus on us. Let's do what we do. Don't worry about the outcome. And Franklin County's got athletes everywhere. Mm-hmm. So shoring that up, and then obviously get your pass rush ready because Nolensville likes to throw the ball way more than they should.
Especially with Samson Johnson back there at running back.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a game Franklin County has every chance to just come in, do what they do, find a way to get the win, obviously, because you don't, I mean, you get, if you win this, you're guaranteed a 500 regular season.
And you're taking some momentum into next week.
Into next
on the
week.
Road. Yep.
It's amazing what that team has been able to accomplish this year. I'm very proud of them. Let's just say I don't want to be a Huntland Hornet this week. Fayetteville coming off a 21-0 loss to 4A Red Bank.
Albeit to 4A Red Bank.
4A Red Bank. But
I don't think they count A's at Fayetteville. When you look at the schedule that they've played.
They have no idea.
They don't care. They played, they lost, they mad.
And you don't want to, yeah. Dare I say they're mad as a Hornet? And you don't want to be a Hornet when Fayetteville's coming to town upset because they are going to look to get right, and it's probably not going to end well for Huntland. So, this team they struggled to get out of the gate because they literally couldn't get out of the gate.
Get on the field. Yeah.
And then you have a game canceled after you travel, and then you have to go back, and it's just been a very tough year for this Huntland team, and they're a young bunch. This is a team that's going to grow up.
And they really, because of their youth, they probably really needed some consistency, some rhythm, and they were never able to achieve that.
Yeah, I mean, they're
through no fault of theirs.
Yeah, they're playing the middle of their season when they should have already grown up through the middle of their season. They're playing it now at the end, and it's just unfortunate. So, Fayetteville's a really good football team, and I fully expect, obviously, they'll take care of business. And, they're looking deep into the playoffs. This is a team that defending 1A state champs. Yep. Come on. So, when we come back, we've got 4 more games to talk about. We will get into down in Lawrence County. We'll go to Giles County. Got some Division II in there. Plenty to talk about. So come back on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Got our picks coming up later as well. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Hour number 2 of this Thursday edition. Glad to have you with us here. It's going to be a fun final 35-ish minutes Got some more high school football to talk about and our picks to get to as well. I was scrolling through Twitter, Mo, and we'll talk about this tomorrow, I'm sure. Tomorrow on Friday, we will obviously preview college and pro sports, but I saw, and I'll forget this stat if I don't tell it now, Derrick Henry is averaging 129 yards a game over his last 32 games. You heard me. Since December of 19, when he had that breakout month, right? Mm-hmm. Since then, he's averaging like 129 or something a game. Come on. Dude is averaging 4.9 a carry throughout his career and had a trash beginning to it.
What's crazy is I was reading some Emmanuel Acho tweet, which was my first mistake. But
right.
he was going on about Lamar Jackson, who is a fantastic quarterback, a fantastic player. But he was going on about Lamar Jackson is a better running back than your running back, and he's a better quarterback than your quarterback. And I don't know about that.
I don't know that he's either in Tennessee.
In Tennessee's case.
I mean, just because now, would I take Lamar Jackson over Ryan Tannehill? I might.
Depends on what you had around him.
Because if you had this team right now with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, tell me it wouldn't be better than with Ryan Tannehill.
That's a heck of a scenario because here's why. I don't think Derrick Henry is as effective in the run game with a Lamar Jackson at quarterback.
See, I think he's more effective because you cannot, under any circumstance, leave your position. The reason that Ryan Tannehill's bootlegs are so effective is because everybody's going to Derrick Henry. Well, you can't do that if Lamar Jackson's your quarterback. So that defensive tackle and that defensive end on the side that Henry's going opposite, they can't go anywhere. They have to stay there because number 8
might be coming.
Is coming your way. That takes at least 3 defenders off of Henry, and if you can't get at least 2 or 3 defenders to Henry, you can't bring him down.
That's interesting.
I think he'd be more effective, but that's the only reason why, because I think it completely takes away half the defense, because when Lamar carries his fake out, gosh knows. I just thought that was an interesting
that is
stat.
130 yards a game for the last 32?
32.
Two seasons.
It's
well,
insane.
Not quite now that we've gone to 17 games.
Yeah, well.
Good Lord. What is he going to do in a 17-game series? Stay tuned.
Well, Eric Dickerson better watch out. That's all I can say. If he gets there in 16, we don't put an asterisk, right?
I don't think so.
But if he gets there in 17, you gotta think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like Maris, right?
Yeah. More games. Anyway.
Maybe you just go by carries. That's the way to do it. It's not about it's about ABs, not games played.
There we go.
Anyway, we got to get to some high school football because we do have 4 more games to talk about, and we start with Hillwood, 1-7 at Lawrence County, 4-4. Lawrence County could lock up another or a potential 500 season, and not even sniff the playoffs because of this 9-team region.
Isn't that amazing?
That's unfortunate.
It really is. It's really amazing if you're Lawrence County and you look across the state and you look at some of these 4-team regions where everybody goes and that kind of thing, and we're sitting down here playing in this meat grinder of a Region 5-4A where you've got 4 teams ranked in the top 10, and we're just trying to keep our heads above water. But this is a chance. Like you said, this is a big opportunity for Lawrence County, I think. Program struggled a little bit here over the last little bit. The opportunity to get to 500. isn't one
They
that they should
should-
take lightly.
They should finish this season 6-4. They have Hillwood and Creekwood remaining. Hillwood 1-7, Creekwood 2-6 on the year. I mean, this is a team that absolutely should finish 2 games above 500 and yet won't be in the playoffs because those 4 losses just happen to come to Tullahoma, Pearl-Cohn, Montgomery Central, Marshall County, who are in your region.
Right.
That sucks. I mean, I feel you're sitting here going, and to be honest with you, like I said, that Marshall County game they were in that game. This final score is not anywhere close to indicative of how close that game really was. I mean, it was 1 or 2 plays here or there that swung the game 14 points, and not all of it was Lawrence County's fault.
Right.
So there's that. But, you know, I want to tip my hat to David Marston and what he's done at that school because they've had a really good group come in. I think JP told us at the beginning of the year, you know, they got the new strength and conditioning coach, and I think that has been an absolute game changer for that program. And it will only make it better going forward.
And hopefully it's something they can continue to build on.
I think it will be. So, Hillwood, don't want to speak too ill of them considering their head coach's brother is right here in town. So we will refrain from talking down about Hillwood. No, so anyway, that ding means we must move on.
Move on.
Columbia Academy 1-6 taking on Clarksville Academy 5-3. But here's the problem with Clarksville Academy: their quarterback's injured, and if Andrew were here,
He'd have pointed that out.
he would have pointed it out. So I think, especially considering, you know, what offensively what Clarksville Academy has done this year, that's a pretty significant loss. As you know, they've lost 2 in a row now. Obviously, they lost DCA and Grace Christian last week, 27-23. I mean, I'm curious to see what Friday night holds because Columbia Academy obviously feels like they're getting healthier.
Yeah, and not only has Clarksville Academy lost their last 2, but they've lost 3 of their last 4 because they also lost to Nashville Christian in that stretch after winning 4 straight to open the season and averaging 52 points in those 4 wins. So, you know, they've kind of hit a tougher part of their schedule, and they're a little beat up, apparently. Meanwhile, like you said, Columbia Academy defeated Mount Juliet Christian back in Week 7 for their first win, lost last week to Nashville Christian. But as you said, they've gotten a little healthier. They've gotten the guy that they had kind of thought was going to be their starting quarterback, Connor Rawson. They got him back from a broken collarbone, and freshman running back Monte Baldwin continues to play well, along with Collins Malone and Dane Bennett at linebacker on the defensive side of the ball. So
here's what we have to talk about. This game is for a playoff spot. The winner of this game is going to the playoffs. Clarksville Academy has Mount Juliet Christian next week, and the fact is they're going to beat Mount Juliet Christian. Columbia Academy has Franklin Grace. If they lose to Clarksville Academy, then they lose the tiebreaker, and only 4 teams go from the middle.
okay,
So this is
a playoff
a
game.
playoff game.
Yeah.
This determines if you go to the postseason or not. So just FYI.
Okay.
Moving along, Richland looking to bounce back at East Hickman. This game ought to go pretty quick. Both of these teams like to run the football a lot. And East Hickman, 5-2 on the year, looking really good. They had that opening week win over
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah. And did it just by running the football all night long. So, but that's what Richland likes to do. They're big up front. They feel like they can stop it and run it too. So This will be a good one.
You know, compare scores at your peril, but East Hickman beat Hickman County in their last game 43-40. Richland beat Hickman County 42-7 back in week 4. So, again, if that means anything to you, then there it is. You say both these teams like to run the ball, but I tell you,
Richland can throw it.
if you look at the stat leaders in Southern Middle Tennessee on our website, mainstreetmurray.com, look at the receiving leaders. Number 3 is Ethan Workman from Richland.
Mo, if he doesn't stumble on the first drive of the game against Forest, they put 6 on the board, and that would have changed the entire complexity of that game. He had a guy beat on an out and up. Kid bit on the out really hard, and when he turned to go upfield, he kind of lost his footing and dives to catch the ball, and it still hit his hands. He almost caught it at the goal line for a touchdown anyway. Just so close. Ooh. It was. I wish he'd have caught it because it was a thing of beauty. Matter of fact, we got a picture of him, but unfortunately, if you don't catch it, we don't really want to put that in the paper. So, but it was impressive. Richland is a really good football team, and they can throw it too. So when they need to, they can put it downfield.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tonight, Lewis County 7-1 at Summertown 5-2. This one has all the storylines. I mean,
playoff preview
potentially
because Summertown coming from Region 5, Lewis County in 6. I mean, if they are 2-3, they could see each other again. Obviously, student teacher with Dakota Cruz being the only Mr. Football in Lewis County's history and having played for Bobby Sharp over there to win it. So
and coached under another Bobby Sharp protege.
Creasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, this is everything all rolled into one on a Thursday night, little Thursday night football action in Summertown. I am excited about this one because this one, too, should go pretty quick.
Yeah. They may not throw it a whole lot in this one. And when they do, it'll probably be the Summertown folks doing so with Colton Schaefer. So, yeah.
I think this is a game Summertown. If Summertown, boy, if they could win this game, Cascade better watch out because they'll be so riding so high over there with confidence. And then if they lose this game, they're going to be angry and want to take it out on somebody. And maybe Cascade ought to just watch out either way.
Either way. There you go.
I'm excited about this one again because we've talked about it so much. This Summertown team really feels like they've finally taken advantage of those 3 seniors that have been, really running this program since they were sophomores. Mm-hmm. They've taken advantage of them. Javen Edmiston on offense and defense has been phenomenal. Colton Schaefer too, both on offense and defense. Maybe those two may be even more effective on defense than they are on offense at this point.
And Anakin Johnson as well hasn't put up the numbers that he has earlier in his career. I think he's been a little bit more of an impact player on the defensive side of the ball. But
he plays the defensive line really well and linebacker. They kind of walk him up, and it's fun to watch him. It's fun to watch all those kids.
Lewis County's only lost to Fayetteville, by the way.
They only beat Spring Hill 23-16. So just remember. Anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll tell you who we think is going to win on the other side of the break. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today returns to the Lee Company studio in the Front Porch Sports headquarters right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Fast Stop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Fast Stop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Fast Stop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, JP Plant, here on this Thursday edition of the show. Glad to have you with us as we get you ready for high school football on Thursday night and Friday night in Southern Middle Tennessee. Really good story from Main Street Prep's Tyler Palmatier, as talking a little Jake McNamara over at Page, and said, you know, he enjoys watching his brother Cade McNamara, who has led the Michigan Wolverines to an undefeated season thus far. Said he sees a lot of himself in the way that Cade said he sees a lot of himself in the way that Jake plays. So pretty interesting there. I mean, solid bloodlines. And as I've seen Jake McNamara make some really impressive throws, he is really, really good. So
Colorado State commit.
that's interesting. I guess it's probably his height. He's just not as tall as he needs to be to play at the
He's
P5
not as
level.
tall as folks would like for him to be.
Right.
It's not that he's not as tall as he needs to be.
Well,
I mean, too
he's as
many-
tall as he needs to be to get the offers. Clearly,
It just,
I hate that though.
I think it's a lot easier to miss on a 6'4", 220-pound quarterback than it is to miss on a 6 foot, 190-pound quarterback. Because this guy had all the measurables and he just didn't get it done. But well, that guy was too short to start with,
Oh yeah, no doubt. There are plenty of times that I look and I say there is no reason that this kid shouldn't be playing major Division I college football. So
Yep.
Noah McKay, our friend from the Upper Cumberland Reporter, out at Tucker Stadium in Cookeville tonight as Livingston takes on Watertown. That'll be a good one.
Should be a good one. Some more Thursday night action.
Plenty of it around the state tonight. You get late in the season, a lot of folks like to play these non-region games on Thursday nights, if at all possible. So it is interesting. I like it. I'm for that. All right, Mo, let's get.
I'm for it as long as it's not conflicting with Game 5 of the NLCS that my
Right.
team is in. So yeah.
The good thing is we don't have to. If it goes to 6, well, they're off tomorrow. It's travel day, so.
Right.
All right, let's get into some picks. Might as well start with tonight's game. And Lewis County at Summertown, 7-1 Panthers, 5-2 Eagles. What you got? I should know this because it's in the paper.
It is in the paper. I just think that Lewis County is a little bit more used to having success. And I feel like that makes a difference at some point in this matchup. I've got the visiting Panthers here.
I'm going to go with Lewis County as well, and the reason is because I think that they just control the ball so well. When you have momentum and then they come out and just 3 yards in a cloud of dust you to death, it's tough to get back up on the horse, especially if you play both ways. So, yeah, Lewis County in this one, I think.
Blake Carroll will be a factor in this ball game for Lewis County.
There's no question. I mean,
So I just wanted to get that name mentioned.
as you should. All right, 4-4 Richland heading to East Hickman, 5-2. Richland coming off that loss to Forest last week.
And, as close as you say that loss was, I think Nick Patterson is going to have this team focused and motivated to go on the road and get a victory. And I'm also tired of Nick Patterson using my picks for motivation. He's going to have to find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Raiders.
And it won't be from me either because I'm going with the Raiders as well. I mean, this is a good football team. I think they're a better football team than their record indicates. I think there are a couple of games they lost that they probably shouldn't have lost, and that wasn't of any fault of their own. I think just, things happen.
Things happen.
So I got Richland. Columbia Academy is at home against Clarksville Academy, right?
No,
No, they're on the road?
it's at Clarksville.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Columbia Academy 1-6 at Clarksville Academy 5-3. This a playoff game for a playoff spot.
And I don't think all 5-3 teams are created equally. I'll just cut it short. I like Columbia Academy in this ball game.
Dang, I do too. I was hoping you were going the other way.
No. I don't think Clarksville. You say Richland is better than their record. I don't think Clarksville Academy is as good as their record.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
100%. Lawrence County hosting Hillwood. Lawrence County 4-4. Hillwood 1-7. I guess there's still possibility out there for Lawrence County to make the playoffs. I'm sure that if there was somebody that gave them some help in the world of Region
5.
Five,
Region 5
4A.
4A. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They'd have to have some help.
Greenbrier would have to beat Marshall County. And even then, they still wouldn't get in. I don't think there's a possibility. Nope.
Well,
There's not a possibility. They cannot win. They can only finish 4-4 in the region. Marshall County can only finish 4-4 in the region, and they hold the tiebreaker. Now, it'd be
what
a three-way
if somebody
tie.
else finished
It's actually a
4-4?
three-way tie. You're
Yeah.
right. Greenbrier, but then Greenbrier would get in because they would have. No, I don't know. That's interesting.
There you go.
That's a possibility. Maybe there is some world out there. Anyway, Lawrence County, Hillwood, they got to win both of these next two.
I think they win this one.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. All right. Fayetteville at Huntland. I mean, this is... Fact is, Fayetteville's upset. They're angry. They're going to try to get right, and they're going to.
This is the worst possible scenario for Huntland. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Warren County, 1-5. Franklin County, 4-4. Again, a chance for Franklin County to keep the momentum going.
CJ Taylor ain't walking through that door.
No, he's not.
Which makes this a bad situation for the Pioneers. This Franklin County team, again, we continue to talk about their athleticism with the Holman twins and with the Johnson kid at quarterback, and I think that's the difference for them in this one. I like Franklin County.
Yeah, they just out-athlete them for sure. All right, Page 8-0 at Independence, 3-5. Independence, part of that, I mean, this is a team that may or may not make the playoffs in Class 6A, but that region is just so tough.
Yeah, that region is tough. Independence's schedule is tough, and I feel confident in saying this is the best team Page has seen this year. And I'm not sure they're ready for this. I like Independence in this one.
I like Independence too, and I think it's just because of the physicality. I mean, they're just Independence just has a little bit more intensity. They're going to be bigger up front. They're going to be stronger, I think. This is a team that 100% has not seen a level of athlete that they're going to see Friday night against Independence.
I think Independence's physicality is going to be a factor, but I also think Rummel and Katina on the outside, I don't know that Page can defend them for 4 quarters.
I'm going to tell you they can't. So, there you go. Summit, 8-0 at Shelbyville. I mean, we pretty much picked this one already. Destin Wade. It's like I said last night, we've got Eddie Rosario, and you don't. Well, Destin Wade and the Summit Spartans roll into Shelbyville.
Here's the thing, though.
Yep.
We've got Destin Wade and you don't, but we've also got Dominic Hollis and Brady Pierce and you don't.
And number 7.
Well,
and number 10. And anybody else that you, I mean, Brandon King is a factor. When they get the ball in his hands, good things happen. Dominic Hollis, Keaton Wade, when he's in the backfield, is just an unstoppable force. Because, again, if you just dump it to him out of the flats, I mean, he's almost impossible to tackle. Just ask Beach. I mean, so, yeah. Shelbyville just doesn't have the guys. And Cade Cunningham is going to have to throw for 700 yards for them to have a chance, and I just don't see that happening.
Or throw for 350 and run for 350, one or the other. Yeah.
Either way. And our fast stop game of the week, Spring Hill 0-7, Mount Pleasant 3-5. Sounds weird to have a game of the week, but they're playing as part of the Sparkman Daily Wade Trophy here in Murray County, the Murray County trifecta. Game number 2.
Sort of like the Commander-in-Chief trophy, but not.
But not. Exactly. This one is game number 2 in the series. Spring Hill traveling to Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant got both of those games at home. That's odd. And Columbia will travel in both, I believe. I think the other is Spring Hill hosts Columbia Central. So this is a big one, an interesting game.
It is, because you're talking, frankly, about two teams who have had tough time scoring of late.
At least recently, yeah.
Yeah, and so whichever one figures that out first tomorrow night may make the difference. I'm taking the home team.
I was going to say, who figures it out, Mo?
I'm taking the home team.
I'm going Mount Pleasant too, and here's why. I think Spring Hill athletically can match up with the players that Mount Pleasant has right now, but physically up front, they're not blocking Gavin Alderson and the
Ellison
kid, Dontavius Ellison. Mm-hmm. They're not blocking them. Not going to happen.
I think Jackson Collier plays a role in this ball game.
It very well could. I mean,
either flipping the field or hitting a field goal or something.
Well, Spring Hill's going to start at the 20 just about every time. Mm-hmm. I mean, whether it's or inside of it, whether he's punting or kicking off, they're going to start from the 20 just about every time.
Yeah.
Just because he's got such a leg. So, yeah, you're right. I think he special teams is going to play a big part for sure. All right, there you have it. That is the pick 'em. Mo took a game lead last week. I picked Loretto. He picked Cascade. Cascade, an 18-6 winner over the Mustangs. So he leads 66-17. I'm 65-18. 8-1 last week for me. 9-0 for Mo. So nothing's going to change this week because we went all the same direction.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how it goes. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today on this Thursday edition. We appreciate it, and we are looking forward to high school football again. Summertown hosting Lewis County tonight. Head on down there if you got nothing better to do. We will talk about that game tomorrow a little bit in segment 1, and then we will talk about it again on Monday as well. So we appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on WZYXradio.net and WKOM 101.7 FM. Don't forget MainStreetMurray.com, MainStreetPreps.com for all the most timely and comprehensive sports coverage in and around southern Middle Tennessee and all of Middle Tennessee in Main Street Preps. So we, once again, we would invite you to subscribe to MainStreetMurray.com. That's going to do it for us. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 4 o'clock, for Patton and JP Plant. I'm Chris Yao saying have a great day and stay cool, Columbia.